This is KI0AR. Does anyone need to use the repeater systems before I begin this evening's Colorado Astronomy Net? Please go ahead now. Calling the Colorado Astronomy Net, calling the Colorado Astronomy Net. This is KI0AR. My name is Bernice, and I'll be your net control for this evening's Colorado Astronomy Net. Just a reminder, the 3-minute timeout function is still in effect, so during long transmissions, please allow the repeater systems to set themselves. Also, please use the word break for emergency or priority traffic. If there is any emergency or priority traffic, please go ahead now. Okay, nothing heard. This is KI0AR net control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. This net meets every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. Now it's 0200 Zulu to discuss topics of an astronomical nature, what's up in the night skies for the week, any other special events that may be of interest to the amateur radio astronomy enthusiasts around the world. Also, this is one of the few nets where your check-in does count. I tally the numbers and send them off to JPL at the end of each month. Count as part of their outreach to the general public, of which we are a part, so all check-ins are definitely appreciated. I take check-ins several ways. I take them over the air, of course. If you happen to have NetLogger, if I see your call sign pop up in the AIM window, I'll get you logged in that way. That's one of the easiest ways to get logged in. I'm also on YouTube this evening, so anyone checking in via YouTube, more than welcome to. I'll get your, if you've got a call sign, I'll put that in there. Definitely, if those who are listening on YouTube, if you have a call sign, great. If not, I'd definitely like a first name and a location of where you are, city, state, or country for that matter, checking in tonight. And I'll take them via email if you're out there and can't do any one of the aforementioned ways of checking in. My email address is ki0ar@ki0ar.com. Just let me know you're out there listening tonight. First name, wherever you happen to be, your location, and a call sign if you've got one. So all of that. Right now, it looks like I'm going to acknowledge several call signs right now. KO5AOK over on YouTube. Thanks for checking in tonight, Mike. David, WE8M. Thanks for checking in tonight. Stan, VE3PSE. Thanks for checking in tonight. Anyone else wishing to check into tonight's Colorado Astronomy Net, please call with your call sign phonetically twice.
Control the church. Kilo India 7, copy. Kilo Lima. KI7, Big Jail.
Kilo America 9, Oscar Mike Yankee. Kilo America 9, Oscar Mike Yankee. Be in and out.
Whiskey 6, Romeo Delta Zulu. Whiskey 6, Romeo Delta Zulu. Not looking like I'm delivering a rapid report tonight. Have a good one. Your monitoring has power.
With 0 Sierra Charlie Alpha, Whiskey 0 Sierra Charlie Alpha, portable, Daily Bernice.
Mike 1, Delta Echo. Mexico 1, Delta Echo. Kennedy November 0, Mike Echo Sierra, November 0, Mike Echo Sierra, Colin Parker, Colorado. Check one.
Okay. Okay, this is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Let's pause there. That last station kind of sounded more like R2D2 trying to check in, and I couldn't decipher that. So stand by. I'll try to get you again, but let me acknowledge, if you don't hear me call in your call sign, I definitely don't have you on the list yet. Let's see. Let me make sure who I got so far. There we go. Where did I leave off? Okay, there we go. Roy, KI7PKL, thanks for checking in tonight. Stephen, KA9OMY, thanks for checking in tonight. Josh, KJ5IRQ, thanks for checking in tonight. Ed, W6RDZ, thanks for checking in tonight. And I do have that rocket report ready to go. So thanks for that. Blake, W0SCA, thanks for checking in tonight. Graham, MM1DEA, thanks for checking in tonight. Appreciate you staying up late with us tonight. John, W2JLS, thanks for checking in tonight. And Tom, N0MES, thanks for checking in tonight. And Dave, AF0AS, thanks for checking in tonight. That's all oh, there we go. We have another YouTuber checking in tonight. I got you noted there. That's, I think, Caleb. Appreciate you checking in tonight. Let's see. All right, you've checked in before. You're just listening tonight. Got you there. So appreciate that. The other call that sounded kind of funky earlier, that if I did not call your call sign, I don't have you checked in yet. So anybody else wishing to check into tonight's Colorado Astronomy Net, please call with your call sign phonetically twice.
Kilo Bravo 9, Charlie Romeo Sierra. Kilo Bravo 9, Charlie Romeo Sierra. Calling from Greencastle, Indiana. In and out. Head control, 2 seconds. Alpha, Echo, 0. Alpha, Echo, 0. Pilot control, please check November Charlie 2. Charlie 2, Whiskey X-ray monitor only.
All right, got a couple of new call signs on the list, so welcome to the newcomers. First time check-ins. There's 2 of them here. Let me go ahead and acknowledge. Let's see, I got Dave, Caleb, KF0UPB. Thanks for checking in tonight over on YouTube. Colin. KB9CRS, welcome to the Colorado Astronomy Net. Again, my name is Bernice, that's Bravo Uniform Romeo November Echo Sierra Sierra. and the call sign is Kilowatt India 0 Alpha Romeo. Been doing the net control for 30 years. Oh, I'd like almost 30 years. I'd like to touch base with my first time check-ins and find out a little bit more information about you, in particular your interests or background in astronomy, whether you're just starting out and you're brand new to, well, nobody's really brand new to looking up at the skies, but getting out there and getting an interest of what's up in the skies and figuring out what's going on. Or those of you who've been doing it for decades or somewhere in between. This is a learning mode, so even I learned something new just about every net. So there you go, and I've been doing it for, like I said, I've been doing it for decades, and I'm learning stuff. There's always something new to learn with this particular interest here. So Colin, I'm going to get right back to you in just a sec. JR, we got you on the list, AE0LE. Thanks for checking in tonight. Gary, NC2WX, thanks for checking in tonight. Randy, VE7 MXU, also a new call on the list, so welcome there, Randy. Same question for you in just a sec. I do appreciate you checking in tonight, and we got you... Robert, on the list, W7CTY. I'm going to go back up to Colin there, and welcome, Colin. Tell us a little bit about your background interest in astronomy, whether you're just starting out or you've been it for decades or something like that. We got all kinds of interests. Please go ahead.
I am just pretty new to it, just trying to learn what I can. I just came across this net here, so kind of just looking to see what I can learn here tonight. Back to net control.
All right, Colin, appreciate that. Yeah, stick around. Got some interesting stuff tonight, especially when you go out and look at the moon if you have a clear sky. And some radio conditions were kind of funky tonight, too, or today. So I'll tell you a little bit about what happened as well. So stick around for the bulletins. So this works is I'm taking check-ins. I got some announcements, got some local astronomical news, and I got some bulletins to share and a rocket report, and then I like to go down the list and talk with everybody. So hopefully you can stick around. Stick around for questions and answers. Hopefully I'll generate some questions for sure. Always like that. Try to stump the astronomer. There you go. It's been done before. So definitely stick around. Randy, VE7 MXU. Again, welcome to the Colorado Astronomy Net. Tell us what your background interest in astronomy. Please go ahead.
Too many radios and all that answer. I've just been generally interested for a long time. For science, I did, however, work operating some of the computing resources at the University of Calgary, in part with the Department of Astrophysics. And my late grandfather actually Alberta, Critic telescope, a bunch of help from the Department of Health on the optics structure, and it's always had kind of a
All right, Randy, appreciate that. Welcome to the net. It does seem like you have some background in astronomy as well, so appreciate you sharing that with us. Hopefully you can You can check that out. Let's see, Moy, I got you on the list. N5ZIQ. Yes, for those of you who have clear skies, you may want to take a look at that moon. Right now, I'm going to actually, what I'm going to do is get into the announcements. I'll look for check-ins a little bit later on. Where was I? I publish a monthly astronomy newsletter via email and the World Wide Web. If you wish to subscribe to the email version of my newsletter, please send me an email to ki0ar@ki0ar.com and request to be put on the list. I do send that out around the 1st of the month. Actually, it was closer to the 4th of the month today. It's some work to do to get on that, and so it went out today. So if you, it's in a PDF format, so you can get an email version of the newsletter. I also publish it via the web. Let's see. You can send me an email to ki0ar@ki0ar.com to get signed up for the newsletter. You can visit the webpage at www.ki0ar.com/astro.html, and at the top of the webpage is also a spot where you may subscribe to the email version of the newsletter as well. If you don't want to remember all that, just Google my call sign, KI0AR. You'll find a whole bunch of links, including links to the webpage and the newsletter. I also volunteer with a youth group called the International Association for Astronomical Studies. We're always looking for new members, freshmen through senior high school age students interested in astronomy, amateur radio, high-power rocketry, remote control aircraft flying, full-scale aircraft construction, archaeoastronomy, radio astronomy, and balloon launch communications. More than welcome to visit our website at www.iaas for more information. Also, check us out on Facebook under the same name, the International Association for Astronomical Studies. Also, a reminder that the Colorado Astronomy Net also has a Facebook page. So if you do have Facebook, be sure to hop on there and like us both. Also, the IAAS has a club call sign, which is Kilowatt 0 Alpha Alpha Sierra K0AAS. If you hear them on the radio, be sure to say hey to them and ask about more information from them, especially on Friday evenings between 6 and 8. That's when we usually monitor that frequency for sure. But they also have their meeting, or their regular meeting during that time. But if we happen to hear that call, we'll be sure to say hey. For those of you who may be interested in flight simulations, you may want to check out Jack's KE0VH's YouTube channel, which is Captain Jack Flight Sim, CAPNJACKFLTSIM, Captain Jack Flight Sim, on Mondays and Wednesdays. He's been pretty busy this year and has not been able to do nearly as many flights, so you'll just have to check that and see if he's on YouTube on Mondays and Wednesdays from 6:30 until landing. So it could be an hour, could be 2 hours, could be 2.5 hours, but all depends on where he's flying to and what he's got going on. But he's got a whole bunch of his old flights as well. You can go ahead and check those out. And that's it for the announcements for this evening. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. I'm going to go ahead and get into the local astronomical for November. We'll start off as usual with the phases of the moon. We have a full moon occurring tomorrow, tomorrow night, or tomorrow, actually earliest when it's It's going to be early in the morning, actually, so we won't see the well, you'll see the full moon tomorrow for sure. Got a last quarter moon coming up on the 12th, new moon on the 20th, and a first quarter moon on the 28th. The moon will be at perigee tomorrow. It will be 221,726 miles from Earth. And this is particularly significant. The supermoon, also known as the Beaver supermoon, will be visible on the evening of Wednesday, November 5th, 2025. This is the biggest and brightest full moon of the year because it will be at its closest point to the Earth, or perigee, at the same time it's full. To see it, look toward the eastern horizon just after sunset. We've got Moy down in Texas looking at it right now. So take your HT and go out, and we'll have some observation reports a little bit later on. What to know about the November 5th, 2025 supermoon. Peak illumination. The peak of the full moon will occur at 8:19 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on November 5th. But the moon will appear full and bright throughout the evening of November 5th and the night of November 4th. Closest supermoon of the year. This is the closest supermoon of 2025, and it will appear larger and brighter than other full moons of the year. Why it's called the Beaver Moon. This is a traditional name for November's full moon, named by Native American tribes and colonists because it was the time to set beaver traps before the swamps froze. So a nice little interesting tidbit about tonight's and tomorrow's supermoon. So there you go. The moon will be at apogee, its farthest point away from Earth this month, on the 19th. It will be 252,706 miles from Earth. Planetary highlights for November. Mercury switches from the evening to morning sky this month, while the giant planets dominate the night. The moons of Jupiter and Saturn offer many events. Venus stars on early November mornings, but drops lower day by day. This excerpt is from Astronomy Magazine, November 2025, page 28. On with the planets. Mercury will be stationary on the 9th. Mercury will be at inferior conjunction on the 20th, meaning that it is between us and the Sun on that date. Mercury will be stationary again on the 29th. Mercury is now setting about 5:49 p.m. This week. So a little bit before 6, it'll be setting. After conjunction, Mercury returns to the morning sky, setting about 5:24 a.m. by month's end. Mercury will be visible about 30 minutes after sunset, low to the west, during the first week or so of the month. So this first week, maybe into next week as well, you still may be able to catch Mercury very low on the western horizon. After that, Mercury is lost in the evening and early morning twilight glow. Mercury moves from the constellation of Scorpius into Libra, shining at magnitude 0.2 on the 30th. All right, a quick tutorial on magnitudes. The magnitude scale is an inverse logarithmic scale, meaning as the magnitude increases in value, the apparent brightness of an object decreases by a factor of about 2.5. So the lower the magnitude, the brighter the object. So about the dimmest object that the human eye can see under optimal dark sky conditions is about 6th magnitude. So a magnitude 5 object is about 2.5 times brighter than a magnitude 6 object, while a magnitude 7 object is 2.5 times dimmer. So any magnitudes greater than 6, you will definitely need binoculars or a telescope to spot. While those that are less than 6, you can see with the naked eye. But as with all those objects up there, take a good look through binoculars or a telescope. You'll pull out a lot of the detail of what's up in the night skies with that. Continuing on with Venus. Venus is rising about 5:15 a.m. this week, and then rises about 6:15 a.m. by month's end. Look for Venus to the east about an hour before sunrise. Venus moves from the constellation of Virgo into Libra, shining at magnitude -3.9 on the 1st. And hopefully everybody has reset their clocks, because daylight saving time ended for most of the U.S. back on the 2nd at 2 a.m. local time. I do have a link for daylight saving time on in the newsletter and on the web page. It's kind of interesting if you click on that link to see where daylight saving time is observed around the world. We're not just the only ones. In fact, it's starting up in the southern hemisphere in quite a few spots. It's already started. And it's ending for quite a few spots around in the northern hemisphere. Some of it's still going on. So check out, it's an interesting page to look at. They also have when it starts up and ends in the springtime as well. So check that out. You can check out www.timeanddate.com, time and date, all one word, and search that website. Lots of interesting stuff on that website. Continue on with Mars. Mars is setting about 5:45 p.m. this week and about 5:10 p.m. by the end of the month. Look for Mars low to the west in the evening about 30 minutes after sunset. Mars moves from the constellation of Libra into Ophiuchus, shining at magnitude 1.5. Then we got Jupiter. Jupiter will be stationary on the 11th, meaning that it neither appears to move forward nor backward relative to the background stars. Jupiter is now rising about 9:30 p.m. this week, and will be rising about 7:45 p.m. by month's end. Look for Jupiter to the southeast in the evening, then follow it through the night sky as it sets in the early morning hours before dawn. Jupiter is in the constellation of Gemini, shining at magnitude -2.4. And then we got Saturn. Saturn will be stationary on the 28th. Saturn is rising about 3 p.m. in the afternoon and about 1:15 p.m. by month's end. Look for Saturn to the south in the evening as well, soon after sunset. Saturn is in the constellation of Aquarius, shining at magnitude 0.8. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Continuing, we got Uranus will be at opposition on the 21st, rising as the sun sets. Uranus is now rising about 5:30 p.m. this week, and let's see, it will be rising about 3:50 p.m. by month's end. Uranus is at its best and brightest for the year this month. Look for Uranus to the south in the evening. That's in later in the evening, since it's after the sun sets, giving it about several hours for Uranus to get high in the sky. Uranus is in the constellation of Taurus, shining at magnitude 5.6. And then we got Neptune. Neptune is rising about 3 p.m. This week, so very, very close to actually about the same time Saturn is rising. So those two are very, very close together. They have been for the last several months. And then rising about 1:15 p.m. by month's end. Look for Neptune to the south in the evening, just east, just east of Saturn by a few minutes all month. Neptune is in the constellation of Pisces, shining at magnitude 7.7. So here's a good challenge for you. You may be able to see Saturn with the naked eye. However, you will not see Neptune with the naked eyeball. So you'll definitely have to get some binoculars out. Scan the skies fairly close to Saturn, and just through the binoculars will be just to the left, just slightly. You may be able to see a bluish dot, bluish with some green in there. Dot, that would be Neptune. Uranus kind of is more green than blue, kind of green. Let's see, more green with some blue in there as well, but that will also be a little dot as well. And that's the difference between looking at stars and planets. The planets will show up as discernible disks, while the stars will remain as pinpoints. On with the dwarf planets, we have Ceres will be stationary on the 27th. Ceres is rising about 4 p.m. This week, about a little after 2 p.m. in the afternoon by month's end. Ceres can be spotted low to the south, just below and east of Saturn and Neptune. So they're kind of in the relatively similar spots, but Ceres is about an hour or so, so that's about 15 degrees sky width that they're behind. So you'll definitely have to wait later in the evening when it gets dark to see if you can spot Ceres in the constellation of Cetus, shining at magnitude 8.3. Then we got Pluto. Pluto is setting about 10 p.m. This week and about 8 p.m. by month's end. The best time to spot Pluto will be in the early evening when it is highest in the sky to the southwest. Pluto is in the constellation of Capricornus, shining at magnitude 15.3. As always, good luck at spotting Neptune, Ceres, and Pluto. Large telescope and dark skies will be needed. An 8-inch scope will definitely pick out Neptune, possibly Ceres, but you're going to have at least a 12-inch, maybe a 15-inch diameter mirrored telescope for finding Pluto, and lots of patience for that one. Meteor showers. We have one of the best fall meteor showers coming up this month. We got the Leonids. The duration of this shower covers the period of November 14th through 20th. Maximum occurs on November 17th. The maximum hourly rate typically reaches 10 to 15, but most notable are periods of enhanced activity that occur every 33 years. Events that are directly associated with the periodic return of Comet Tempel-Tuttle. During these exceptional returns, the Leonids have produced rates of up to several thousand meteors per hour. The Leonids are swift meteors, which are best known for leaving a high percentage of persistent trains. This year should be pretty good as far as being unobscured by moon. You'll have a thin crescent moon to contend with in the early hours of the morning to spot some of these Leonids. But this is not one of those exceptional return periods. During the net, or the almost 30 years of during the net, I have seen that meteor storm from the Leonids. Quite spectacular when you're seeing 3, 4, 5 meteors streaking through the skies almost every several seconds, and quite plentiful for even a minute's worth of viewing. Quite spectacular. Then you might have a little bit of a lull, but you know, you're seeing hundreds within the period of an hour easily, for sure. You don't see a lot of the dim ones because of the city lights here, but you get out in the dark skies. And I will definitely let you know when one of those 33-year events come up here on the net. I hope I'm still around when the next one comes, that's for sure. We got a couple of comets worth noting. We got Comet C 2025 A6 Lemon is passing through the constellation of Ophiuchus low to the west. By the end of the month, it may be too low and lost in the evening twilight glow. Comet Lemon is visible with the naked eye, provided you are away from city lights. The comet is shining around 4th magnitude, maybe about 5th magnitude now, at the beginning of the month, but dims to about 7th magnitude by month's end. So look for Comet Lemon early in the month. A 3 to 4 inch telescope or greater and dark skies will still be needed to see more details. And this is one with kind of a greenish tail. I saw that a week and a half ago through my telescope out in Strasbourg, and it did look quite spectacular through a scope. It is dimmed some, but you definitely get out and see if you can still spot that. It is going to be approaching the western horizon as the month progresses, so it'll be a little tougher to spot. We got Comet C 2025 R2 Swan is passing through the constellations of Aquarius and into Pisces right now, shining around 8th magnitude, then dimming to about 10th magnitude by the end of the month. Comet Swan is fairly close to Saturn and Neptune, so it shouldn't be too hard to find under dark sky conditions. It was a little tricky to spot. It's kind of a fuzzball, so there's no real tail to it. It's past the sun and is dimming dimming rapidly as it moves away from the sun, but still looks like a fuzzy patch of sky. And that is it for the local astronomical news. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. I'll go ahead and pause here to see if there are any more check-ins before I get into the bulletins for this evening. I don't see any other check-ins on NetLogger or YouTube. So anybody else wishing to check into tonight's Colorado Astronomy Net, please call with your call sign phonetically twice.
Charles 8, Fox Queen Victor, KC8FQV, Mark.
Okay, good evening to you, Mark, KC8FQV. Thanks for checking in tonight. All right, get into the bulletins for this evening. I'd like to start off with ISS passes. Let's see, I'm going to post this over on YouTube. Just a sec, let me get that up. Okay, that should pop up. So just a sec, just bear with me there just a moment. There we go. The ISS passes. The one reason I like this particular website is, which is www.heavens-above.com. That's www.heavens-above.com. Right now I've got it pulled up over on YouTube. I can look at a particular passage of interest and click on its date and pull up a nice 8.5 by 11 star chart. If this will, see if this will behave. Let's see, here we go, there we go. There we go. I don't know what was going on earlier, but and you can see in this particular one, you can see it disappears pretty quickly into the evening shadow of the Earth over Denver, anyway. What I like about this particular website is you can put in your home coordinates. You can sign up, put in your home coordinates, and it'll give you much better timings, placement, and star charts for your particular local area. Right now, it looks like for over the Denver area, it's transitioning from morning to evening passes, which makes it kind of nice. In the next week, there aren't any too significant passes coming up over the Denver area. They all are pretty short, a couple of minutes, if that. But hopefully we'll get into some good passes next week over the Denver area anyway. Again, that website, www.heavens-above.com. That's it for that bulletin. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. I'm going to carry on. This little blurb is from Space Weather. Interesting activity. I'm going to let this thing reset and then we'll get into that. This next one, spaceweather.com. X flare today. Sunspot 4274 erupted again today, November 4th at 1734 UTC, producing an X 1.8 class solar flare. The explosion was dramatic. A pulse of extreme ultraviolet radiation from the flare caused a shortwave radio blackout over South America, and a CME is emerging from the blast site. Stay tuned for updates as we receive fresh data from space-based coronagraphs. The strongest solar flare of the space age. 22 years ago today, the sun unleashed the strongest X-ray solar flare of the space age. The underlying sunspot was not facing Earth, otherwise we might have experienced a new Carrington event. Instead, the debris flew harmlessly off the sun's western limb. The explosion on November 4th, 2003 was so intense that at first no one knew how strong it was. X-ray detectors on board GOES satellites were saturated for 11 minutes. This clipped the readings at X 17.4, but clearly it was stronger. Shortwave radios in North America went silent as the continent experienced a deep radio blackout, a hint at the flare's true severity. Eventually, researchers figured out our personal favorite estimate comes from this paper, and there's a link on the site there, which describes how Earth's ionosphere was used as a giant solar flare detector. Their answer, X45, has been confirmed by other studies. This puts it in the same ballpark as the Carrington event. There were no X-ray detectors in the 19th century, so researchers have to use indirect methods to estimate the intensity of Carrington's flare on September 1st, 1859. Studies of auroras, ice cores, and magnetic disturbances suggest values near X45, although some estimates go as high as X80. Now for the interesting part. The November 4th, 2003 flare occurred during the declining phase of solar cycle 23. 22 years later, we are near the same point in solar cycle 25. As any good space weather forecaster will tell you, the downslopes of solar cycles are prime time for big explosions. No one knows why, but it's true. In conclusion, don't be surprised if it happens again. And that's it for that bulletin. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Actually, I think I'm going to call it an evening for the bulletins and all the extra stuff, and get into the rocket report in just a second. So, two timely events today. We've got the nearly supermoon, or the very, very bright full moon. I'd love to hear some observation reports from those of you who are out there looking at it now. And I'd love to hear any reports of from the amateur radio side of the solar activity, and see how the if you guys were playing on HF and what you might have heard during the day, during that solar flare event that kind of deadened South America there. So definitely like to hear your comments on that, and when we go down the list. So stay tuned for that. Hopefully we'll hear. And if anybody over on YouTube has any response for that as well, so I'd love to see that posted over in the chat. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. The Rocket Man Ed, W6RDZ's rocket report for 11/4/2025. This report covers the period of October 28th through November 11th. Last week's launches, the worldwide launch cadence remains brisk, averaging about 1 launch per day. 7 launches made it off the pad and into orbit last week. 3 SpaceX, 2 Chinese, 1 ESA, and 1 Indian. Wednesday, October 29th at 10:35:52 Mountain Daylight Time, successfully launched Starlink Group 10-37 out of SLC-40 Cape Canaveral Space Force Station. The Falcon 9 rocket lifted 29 Starlink Internet satellites to Shell 10 of the Starlink mega constellation in low Earth orbit. It was booster B-1083's 15th flight and recovery. It marked the 138th Falcon 9 mission of 2025 and the 250th orbital launch of 2025 worldwide. Friday, October 31st at 09:44 Mountain Daylight Time, CASC successfully launched 3 astronauts to the Chinese Tiangong space station for a 6-month rotation. I guess they should be called taikonauts. The crew of the Shenzhou 21 mission ascended on a Long March 2F/G rocket from Site 901 Jiuquan Satellite Launch Center, China at 09:44 Mountain Daylight Time. The crew consisted of Zhang Lu, Wu Fei, and Zhang Hongzhang. This flight marked the 16th crewed Chinese spaceflight and the 10th flight to the Chinese space station. Shenzhou 21 successfully docked to the Tiangong space station just 3.5 hours after launch. The previous Shenzhou 20 crew, relieved after their 6-month mission, are scheduled to return on the Shenzhou 20 descent capsule and land in the Gobi Desert near the Jiuquan Satellite Launch Center, China, tomorrow, Wednesday, November 5th at 05:30 Mountain Standard Time. Friday, October 31st at 14:41 Mountain Daylight Time, SpaceX launched Starlink Group 11-23 from SLC-4E, Vandenberg Space Force Base, California. It was another foggy Vandenberg launch. 28 Starlink satellites joined the mega constellation. It was booster B-1063's 29th flight and recovery. It was SpaceX's 144th mission of 2025 and the 252nd orbital launch attempt of 2025 worldwide. SpaceX successfully launched the Bandwagon 4 mission on a Falcon 9 rocket departing SLC-40 Cape Canaveral, Florida at 23:09 Mountain Daylight Time, Saturday, November 1st. SpaceX Bandwagon missions are small-sat rideshare missions going to LEO. These missions provide small satellite operators with regularly scheduled, dedicated Falcon 9 rideshare missions to mid-inclination orbits for ESPA-class payloads as low as $300,000 per mission for up to 50 kilograms of payload mass. Saturday's launch placed 18 payloads in low Earth orbit. It was SpaceX's 145th mission of 2025 and booster B-1091's 3rd flight and recovery. Saturday, November 2nd, Indian Space Research Organization, or ISRO, launched the CMS-3 GSAT-7R satellite to geostationary transfer orbit on an LVM-3 rocket. The LVM-3 departed second launch pad Satish Dhawan Space Center, India at 04:56 Mountain Standard Time and successfully placed the payload into geotransfer orbit. It is the largest payload ever launched by ISRO at 4,410 kilograms. The CMS-3 satellite is designed exclusively for the Indian Navy and will be the backbone of naval communication. Sunday, November 2nd, China Aerospace and Science Corporation, CASC, launched the Yaogan 46 mission on a Long March 7A rocket from LC-201 Wenchang launch site, China. Yaogan 46 is a classified Earth observation satellite going to a geostationary transfer orbit. It was the 255th orbital launch attempt of 2025. Today, Tuesday, November 4th at 14:03 Mountain Standard Time, Ariane Space successfully launched the Sentinel-1D mission on an Ariane 62 rocket from ELA-4 Guiana Space Center, French Guiana. Sentinel-1D will carry advanced radar technology to provide all-weather, day and night imagery of the Earth's surface. The Ariane 62 took the Sentinel-1D satellite to sun-synchronous orbit. This is the third Ariane 6 launch of 2025 and the fifth European Space Agency launch of 2025. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Continuing, upcoming launches this week. 8 launches are currently on Worldwide Launch Manifest for next week for SpaceX, and 1 each for China, Europe, India, and ULA. Tomorrow, Wednesday, November 5th, Rocket Lab plans to launch the Nation God Navigates mission on an Electron Curie rocket. The launch should occur from LC-1B, Mahia Peninsula, New Zealand at 12:45 Mountain Standard Time, manufactured by Japan's IQPS. The QPS SAR-14 is a high-performance synthetic aperture radar satellite and is the 6th QPS satellite launched by Rocket Lab of a planned 36 satellite constellation. It will be the 16th Electron launch of 2025. Also tomorrow, SpaceX plans to launch Starlink Group 6-81 on a Falcon 9 from SLC-40 Cape Canaveral Space Force Station at 16:08 Mountain Standard Time. The third launch tomorrow, Wednesday, November 5th at 20:36 Mountain Standard Time. United Launch Alliance's ULA hopes to launch the Viasat 3 F2 mission on Atlas V in a 551 configuration from SLC-41 Cape Canaveral Space Force Station, Florida. Thursday, November 6th at 13:56 Mountain Standard Time, SpaceX intends to launch Starlink Group 11-14 on a Falcon 9 from SLC-4E Vandenberg Space Force Base, California. Thursday, November 6th at 20:30 Mountain Standard Time, China's CAS intends to launch an undisclosed payload on a Kinetica 1 rocket from Site 130, Jiuquan Satellite Launch Center, China. Friday, November 7th, Blue Origin intends to launch the second New Glenn rocket and make a second recovery attempt by landing the booster on a recovery drone ship. The Escapade mission consists of 2 identical NASA spacecraft going to Mars to study ion and sputtered atmosphere escape from Mars. The launch is scheduled for 12:51 Mountain Standard Time, Friday. Saturday, November 8th at 01:30 Mountain Standard Time, SpaceX is scheduled to launch Starlink Group 10-51 from LC-39A, Kennedy Space Center, Florida. Sunday, November 9th at 19:42 Mountain Standard Time, China's CASC plans to launch an undisclosed payload on a Long March 12, launching from LC-2 Wenchang Space Launch Center, China. SpaceX plans to launch Starlink Group 6-87 Monday, November 10th at 15:12 Mountain Standard Time from SLC-40 Cape Canaveral. And finally, SpaceX is hinting at launching the Transporter 15 mission on a Falcon 9 rocket blasting off from SLC-4E Vandenberg Monday, November 10th, No launch time yet specified. And that's it for tonight's rocket report. W6RDZ Rocket Man Ed wishes you a good night and nominal flight. Now back to Starman Burness, KI0AR, net control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. That's it for that tonight. Okay, before I go down the list, I'll go ahead and see if there are any more check-ins. Anyone else wishing to check in to tonight's Colorado Astronomy Net, please call with your call sign phonetically twice.
Kilo Echo Zero Lima November Uniform. Kilo Echo Zero Lima November Uniform.
And good evening to you, Matthew. KE0LNU, thanks for checking in tonight. All right, now's the time for everyone else to contribute to the net. Questions, comments, observation reports. If you're out there looking at the moon, definitely let me know for that especially. And like I said earlier, those of you who may have been on HF, what did the band sound like with all that solar interference going on today? Were they lively in some spots, dead in others, dead over South America if anybody was trying to work them? Any kind of reports like that as well, or anything else that you've looked up in the skies, or any other questions you have about what's up in the skies as well. So now's the time. Mike, no transmit capability over on YouTube. So Mike, KO5AOK, if you've got any questions or anything you'd like to pass along to the net, just post it over there in the chat there, and I'll get it passed along to everybody else. Next on the list, Mike, I do appreciate you checking in for sure over there on YouTube. Next on the list is David in Ohio, WE8M. Good evening to you, David. What have you got for the night? Go ahead.
Good evening, Vernon. This is Drew on the net. I don't really have a whole lot to share. I haven't done any observing the last couple of weeks due to either clouds in the sky or too much moon in the sky. I only observe when there's no moon in the sky. Deep sky objects. So, nothing here to report. But anyway, 73 and clear skies to everyone on that. WEAM.
All right, David, appreciate that. Yeah, hopefully you can get out. Yeah, it's going to be bright next several nights for sure. Or early evening once we pass this full moon phase for sure. Might be a good time until the moon rises a little bit later every day. So we'll look forward to some observation reports later on from you there. Appreciate your comments. Appreciate you checking in tonight. Next on the list is Stan up in Ontario. BE3PSE. Good evening to you, Stan. What have you got for us tonight? Go ahead.
KI0AR, EE Victor Echo 3 Foxtrot Echo in Sudbury, Ontario, just about 5 hours north of Toronto, Canada. Yeah, we were driving home at the time of the moonrise, and wow, that was incredible with the blue skies and the sun going down behind us. It looked really like transparent. It was really, really amazing to watch. and looked huge as well. You know, the moon illusion. But that was really neat to see this evening, and looking forward to the full moon rise tomorrow night. But I don't know if it's going to be clear. I think it's supposed to change tomorrow, so we might have got that view today. That's it. In terms of the short wave, my whisper beacon definitely was not getting into South America. I usually have a few coming down into Brazil and Brasilia, and definitely did not go down into South America. I checked the map on the spot map of my whisper beacon. I got a few into Germany and Alaska, and the rest were pretty much North America. So that was definitely not going into South America. So that was interesting, very interesting. In terms of daylight saving time, I used to author programs that would do data logging, and we had these very stubborn computers that I guess the time, the time synchronizing program on board, but always keep local time. I guess because the researchers wanted local time. But every year, twice a year, that data logger would crash because of divide by zero. I guess I did the subtraction on the time. And I worked on that, and finally just switched them over to UT. I convinced the researchers that it would be better off with UT, and then I just did the conversions for them to local time later, which was cleared up that hell. But the other interesting thing, our planetarium is associated with the Snow Lab at Sudbury Neutrino Observatory. It's an old mine about 2 kilometers below the surface. And we had a presentation on the weekend by one of the scientists who was looking for dark matter. And that was really interesting. He pointed out the bullet cluster. I guess it's 2 clusters of galaxies colliding. And this is apparently proof, well, it provided proof through gravitational lensing that dark matter, was clustering in that area. There was more matter there that they couldn't see, and the lensing kind of that. I guess up to now, that's the best proof that we have that dark matter exists. It's kind of interesting. I'll post the APOD picture of that bullet cluster. And the other thing he said, which I thought was interesting, was
This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Stan, we lost you. We lost you right after you said you were going to post the APOD picture of the colliding galaxies. And then you said there's something else interesting that you'd like to talk about. So we missed that part, the last minute of whatever you had to share. So VE3PSE, continue on with what else you had there. Go ahead, Stan.
okay, thanks for getting me back in there, Bernard. Sorry for timing out. The other interesting thing I thought, he was actually working on trying to detect dark matter in this mine shaft 2 kilometers below the surface, and he's using germanium detectors, maybe using some really some CCDs in the future, but the germanium was interesting. But the one thing he said was that dark matter clustered into things that we couldn't see, but affect things. That seemed like there was just too much. The matter was missing, and that's what they thought was dark matter. And then dark energy. Oh yeah, the other thing about dark matter is it doesn't give off light or magnetism. But the other thing is dark energy. You know, he said he really can't understand it, but he said that the best way you can understand is that it's an intrinsic quality of the universe. It's the same like value everywhere. It's kind of like universal constant. Big presentation and on dark matter, so it's kind of at the edge. Okay, Victor Echo 3 Papa Sierra Echo. Thanks very much for running Blue Origin and that launch on November 9th. And I watched that going to Mars. I was fascinated that.
All right, Stan, appreciate you sharing out all that with us. Appreciate your comments. Appreciate you checking in tonight. Next on the list is Roy up in Oregon, KI7PKL. Good evening to you, Roy. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead.
Clouds, rain, changing here. Energization from KI7PKL.
All right, Roy. Well, I do look forward to your images. I did post one in the newsletter, the next one that, the NGC 6888. I posted that and shared that with on the newsletter, so hopefully you don't mind there. So I do appreciate you being there. And for those of you who are interested in some fabulous imaging, you might want to check out Roy's QRZ webpage. Again, his call, Kilo India 7 Papa Kilo Lima KI7PKL. Check that on QRZ. He's got a whole bunch of images there, and I like to steal them from him for the newsletter. And I do appreciate Roy, you let me do that, Roy. Appreciate your comments. Appreciate you checking in tonight. Next on the list is Stephen up in Wisconsin, KA9OMY. What have you got for us tonight, Stephen? Go ahead.
Well, good evening to everybody on the net. I've not had any time to go out to any observing that. We've been having quite a few medical problems. It's been a lot of things with the doctors and stuff with my wife and things like that. So have not had a lot of time to go out and do any observing or anything like that. And right now, while the net was going on, I was reading the manual for my new radio that I just picked up. So thank God it operates like my FTDX10. It's the FT710. So that one's for the mortal. But otherwise, I hope I can get back into going outside and looking at different things. Coming up on the 8th, I believe there's the EME, and my friend who does that has asked me to come up and join him. And it looks like I'm going to be sitting on 23 centimeters, bouncing signals off the moon. That'll be a first for me, so I'm looking forward to doing that. So back to net control. This is K9OMY.
All right, Stephen, that sounds fabulous. Yeah, if you can, even if you record it with your cell phone or something like that, a contact from an EME contact, I'd love to hear it, and I'll even love to share that with the net maybe next week if that is successful. I think other people here would be interested in listening to that type of contact as well. So if you'd like to share that, we'd love to hear it. But otherwise, good luck. Do appreciate your comments and appreciate you checking in tonight. And good luck with that EMA contact. I'd love to hear that. Next on the list is Josh down in Texas, KJ5IRQ. Good evening to you, Josh. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead. All right, next on the list is Ed out in Broomfield. W6RDZ, good evening to you, Ed. Hopefully you can respond out there during work. I know you're out there saving lives, but love to hear from you. What have you got for us tonight, Ed? Go ahead.
Yeah, W6RDZ here. Good to hear the astronomy net tonight, monitoring as I'm able. Yeah, we're still running calls. So thanks so much for delivering the rocket report. I got to hear some of it. Thank you so much as usual for doing that for us. I have been enjoying a giant supermoon rise tonight. It was quite impressive in the east. Yeah, that's about it, Brad. That's what I got for observation. This is W6RDZ. Back to you.
All right, Ed. Yeah, it's probably bright enough you could drive the highways around here under the moonlight without headlights. But I don't recommend it. But I bet you could without too much problem. Hopefully, you won't have anybody that's doing that tonight on your head there. For sure, but I bet you could. You might even be able to read a newspaper. That's always a challenge to see if you can read a newspaper or maybe some large print of some sort under the moonlight. That's always a challenge to be able to do. But with the full moon being a little bit brighter, about 15% brighter than normal, you might be surprised at what you can see under that full moon for sure. All right, Ed, appreciate your comments. Appreciate you checking in tonight. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Next on the list is Blake in Idaho Springs, W0SCA. Good evening to you, Blake. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead.
Good evening, Bruce, and everybody in Midland. Not a lot going on here in the astronomy department of Blake. I did recently pick up a kind of an adult lens for my camera. I picked up a 18 millimeter Sony prime lens for it. Which I'll be using probably this summer. I'm a fair weather astrophotographer, let's put it that way. Once the weather warms to my to my liking, I will get out there and shoot some structures out there in some of the dark sky areas we have. Basically my backyard here. So not a lot to report on this end. Ernest, back to you, W0SCA.
All right, Blake. Yeah, you should try now. I mean, this is about one of the warmest Novembers we've seen in decades. I mean, 70 degrees. It was a little, let's see, it's been 80 degrees on Saturday, 70 degrees today. A little chillier on the other days, but yeah. Of course, it doesn't stay like that during the night, but now's the time might be a good time, so check that out. But yeah, we'll look forward to your fair weather images for sure there, Blake. I appreciate your comments. Appreciate you checking in tonight. Next on the list is Graham in Scotland. I don't know if he's still around, but we'll give him a shout. MM1DEA. Good evening to you, Graham. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead. All right, yeah, it is a bit late. It's like 3 a.m. his time after that. So, but I always appreciate Graham checking in from Scotland there. Next on the list is John in Ohio over on YouTube. W2JLS. Good evening to you, John. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead. Next on the list is Tom and Parker, N0MES. Good evening to you, Tom. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead.
Furnace, using that November 0 Mike Echo Sierra. Nothing astronomy-wise, just set up a new radio, so I had a Valvane UV5R with a magnetized antenna on a cookie sheet out on my deck, and it was getting kind of cold, so I was able to pick up a 991A used from a guy in our radio club and got it all set up, and this is my first one, so I got a radio check with MC2WS. He said it sounded good, so hopefully it sounds good on your end, but I hit the net tonight, and that's all I got. Back to the net, November 0 Mike Echo Sierra.
All right, Tom, I do appreciate you using your new rig with us, that's for sure. Appreciate your comments and appreciate you checking in tonight. Definitely stay warm. There you go. Next on the list is Dave up in Evergreen, AF0AS. Good evening to you, Dave. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead. Okay, Dave is, let's see, both Stan and Dave have posted a few things over in the AIM window over on NetLogger. I'll go ahead and post that. Let's see, I'll just see if I can post all of that over there on YouTube from these guys. Let's see if that works. I don't think that works. Let's see. Maybe it's too long. All right, we'll try it again. All right. Next on the list is Caleb in Lafayette. Let's see. Caleb is over on YouTube and posted that he's just listening tonight. So I do appreciate you listening there over on YouTube, Caleb. KF0UPB. Thanks for checking in tonight. And if you've got any questions or anything you'd like to pass along, post over on YouTube. Definitely don't hesitate there. I'd love to see what you got, any questions or anything like that. Next on the list is Colin in Indiana, KB9CRS. Good evening to you, Colin. Again, welcome to the Colorado Astronomy Net. What have you got for us tonight? Go ahead.
Yeah, good evening. This is KB9CRS. Thank you for running the net. Good evening, and everyone else on the net. Nothing really to report tonight. We got clear skies here, beautiful view of the moon. Definitely learned quite a bit tonight from the net, and definitely will be back. As always, 73, back to the next control.
All right, Colin, glad to have you here and appreciate you checking in tonight and appreciate your comments and appreciate you checking in. And again, welcome to the Colorado Astronomy Net. Let's see, I'm just trying to get some stuff posted over here on YouTube. I gotta clip some of this stuff. Let's see, that'll work. And so for anybody that does have YouTube, definitely you can listen along and post as you see fit as well. And say, hey, I do have, and you go back and since I'm recording this over on YouTube, you can always listen to some other ones as well. So just started it up. I probably have some tricks that I need to learn as far as YouTubing is concerned, but it's definitely nice to have people checking in that way. All right, this is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Next on the list is JR in Ray, Colorado. AE0LE. Good evening to you, JR. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead. Okay, let's see. A couple of people just checked in via NetLogger. I'll get you guys in a second. Let's see. I see that Kurt and who else we got? Kurt and Thomas. Let me see if those are new calls. I'll get to you in a sec. I gotta check that out. Yeah. All right. Just a sec. All right, there. You bet, Kurt. Let's see. Stick around. Let's see. Where was I? I'm going to touch base with you and Thomas in just a second. KO4 HWV and KN4EWT. Please stick around. Welcome to the Colorado Astronomy Net. Again, my name is Bernice. That's Bravo Uniform Romeo November Echo Sierra Sierra. Where right now I'm going down the list. I got you guys on the list, so we're not too far from the end. So please stick around. I do want to talk with you in a second. Right now, Gary, NC2WX. Good evening to you, Gary. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead. Next on the list is Randy up in Canada, British Columbia, VE7MXU. Good evening to you, Randy. What have you got for the net tonight? Again, welcome to the net. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much for the warm welcome. I don't really have a whole lot to add. I've just been kind of chilling out in the house here. I was in the hospital for a couple of weeks, so been staying in, and unfortunately my old pickup has died with 400,000 kilometers on it, so I'm stuck around the local town here, and it's a big enough city that there's so much light pollution where I am that it's really hard to appreciate it. It's actually kind of sad. But, just enjoying the net and listen to what everyone has to say. And coming me, 73 Slow.
You bet, Randy. Great to have you here, for sure. Yeah, stay warm, stay healthy. Yeah, and live vicariously from what everybody else is taking a look at for sure. Let's see. Robert, he checked in and out, W7CTY. So we'll go down to Moy in Texas. N5ZIQ. Good evening to you, Moy. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead. All right, next on the list is Mark up in Ohio. KC8FQV. Good evening to you, Mark. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead.
Alright, okay, so okay, I just listening along. Just interesting, look at this team, that's amazing and stuff. And hopefully there is people not waiting for stuff out in Hawaii to come from the mainland that is shipped from Kentucky. And, hope someone got explosion with an airplane that's leaving down there. But not much else there. I don't think it's looking at Timu. That place can get you in trouble too. That's like Amazon, that can get us in trouble. Timu can get us in trouble too. But everything else is good. Yeah, the moon's been out at night late. Yeah, at night, some nights we have skylight there, and yeah, some nights the moon is shining and bright. So, let's send it back to that case up to me right there in Roy. That's the only time here. So, back it comes, case up to me. Roy from out in Seattle, Washington, or no, Oregon. Oregon, he's in Oregon, not Seattle, Washington, Oregon. Hey, just Washington. Let's send it back to that case up to me.
All right, Mark. Yeah, appreciate your comments. Appreciate you checking in tonight. Yeah, the moon actually usually around this time of year, instead of rising, it stays up. It's a lot higher in the skies, especially around the full moon time. One reason we have the harvest moon, and it actually rises. Not quite as late as the days go by. Usually, it's about the moon usually rises about 45 minutes later each night as the phases progress during most of the year, except around September, October, November timeframe, when it actually rises about 30 minutes earlier, or 30 minutes later, I should say, excuse me, each night, and stays up about as high as it's going to get. So one reason we have the harvest moon and the other various moons as well, higher in the it's way above the ecliptic as opposed to below it. So it does appear to stay up longer, and right now a lot brighter because it is, like I said, at perigee, and it is a supermoon right this month for sure. All right, Mark, appreciate your comments. Appreciate you checking in tonight. Next on the list is Matthew out in Golden, KE0LNU. Good evening to you, Matthew. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead. Okay, Kurt from North Carolina. Welcome to the Colorado Astronomy Net. Again, my name is Bernice. That's Bravo Uniform Romeo November Echo Sierra Sierra. And the call sign Kilowatt India 0 Alpha Romeo. Kurt, thanks for checking in tonight. K04 HWV. Yeah, you betcha you found the Colorado Astronomy Net. And of course, astronomy works all the way around the world as well, for the most part. Welcome to the net. You found the question and answer period of the net. That's the last half. We start at 7 p.m. Mountain Time, 0200 Zulu. You can find us here on skyhublink.com. For the frequencies, for echo links and stuff like that. So check that out. But Kurt, I have a question for you. And besides having you give us some comments as well, what is your interest, background in astronomy? I like to always start out from my new check-ins and find out what your interest and background, whether you're just starting out or you've been doing it for decades, or somewhere in between. Go ahead, Kurt, K04 HWV. What have you got for us tonight? Go ahead, please.
Yeah, very good. Thank you for picking me up and running the net. What a pleasant surprise. I just happened to see your net pop up on NetLogger and then track you down via EchoLink. But I'm an avid astrophotographer, and I've been doing that for a bit. I've always had telescopes since I was a kid. My dad and I would build telescopes, a lot of Newtonians and stuff like that. So I've got a pretty good collection of scopes and cameras and stuff. And actually, I have a link on my QRZ page to all my work on AstroBin. Yeah, so I've been into it for a while. Really just picked up astrophotography again the last couple of years. I got bit by the bug again. I'm a retired diver, a deep sea diver, and so during that, while I was doing all that, a lot of travel, so didn't have a lot of time all the time. Not as much as would have liked. But now I have all sorts of time, and so yeah, I get to travel all around and chase the clear skies. I'm kind of cursing the moon right now. I had a couple months ago, I had got a really good data from the Heart Nebula, and so I want to get the Soul Nebula, and we have very clear nights right now, but the moon is like a flashlight, so what are you gonna do? But yeah, so I'm waiting about another week when the moon dies down, the weather should be clear, and I'll get some good shots of IC 1848 or SH2199 it's also referred as. But, very neat emission nebula in Cassiopeia. But yeah, so I won't ramble on too long since I'm new, trying to see what you guys are all about. But I'm very glad to have found you. And again, thanks for picking me up. And with that, I will send 7-3 to the group and send it back to you. K04 HWV, back to you.
All right, Kurt. Well, welcome. I do like to showcase some astrophotography images from those of you who are out there and under the dark skies. You may want to get in touch with Roy, KI7PKL, over in Oregon. Share some experiences and stuff like that. I saw your QRZ page, some impressive images there. Not necessarily of of stars and stuff, but definitely appreciate your service there. I'm retired as well, and ex-Navy, so thanks for your service as well. And would yeah, if you've got some great pictures, don't mind. I like to share, like I said, I like to share those images and post them on my website and in the newsletter, and obviously give you credit for those images as well. So hopefully we'll hear more from you and see some more pictures as well. Imaging what you're doing there for sure there, Kurt. And again, welcome to the Colorado Astronomy Net. And again, you can check out my stuff. KI0AR is the call again, and check that out as well. So Kurt, again, welcome to the net. Appreciate your comments and appreciate you checking in tonight. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Thomas, KN4EWT in Tennessee, saw your post there as well. Out delivering pizzas. Save a slice for me. Let's see. Go ahead. What have you got for us tonight, Thomas? Go ahead. Okay, nothing heard. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. I'm not seeing too much activity over on YouTube, and not seeing any more activity over on the NetLogger chats, and nothing in the emails. So, wait a sec. Let me see. All right, there we go. All right, let's see. Colin, yeah, I got your email there. All right, thanks for that. Let's see. I'll go ahead and open up the net for anybody else. Questions, comments, late check-ins. If you are a late check-in, please call with your call sign phonetically twice. Anybody else? Questions, comments, late check-ins, please call KI0AR now.
Comment.
Okay, comment. What's the call there? Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that there's a link to my AstroBin page on my QRZ page. I don't have images on the QRZ page itself, but you'll see at the end of my bio there's a link to AstroBin. You can see all my work. So, yeah, anybody else that's into astronomy who wants to drop me a note, I'm always looking to learn from people and willing to help people out that are just getting started and may have questions and may not know where to begin. So just wanted to throw that in there in case you were interested in seeing any of the work I've done. There's a link there. Anyway, back to you, KO4HWV.
All right, Kurt. Yeah, I just pulled that up. Some magnificent images there. So yeah, they look nice for sure. So I'll have to hop on there and well, let's just click the follow button right now. Well, I'll do that in a minute. I got that pulled up. But yeah. Some neat pictures there, Kurt, for sure. So anybody else, check out his QRZ page and look for that link. We do have actually several astrophotographers on here as well, and they definitely like to share their images as well there, Kurt. So I appreciate you sharing that with us. And again, welcome to the net. Anybody else? Questions, comments, late check-ins before I go ahead and wrap up the net for this evening? Please call KI0AR now. Okay, nothing heard. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the net for this evening. I'd like to thank the 23 check-ins for checking in tonight. Hopefully we'll hear from everybody next Tuesday night for another session of the Colorado Astronomy Net at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. I'd like to thank the Rocky Mountain Radio League for the use of their repeater systems. Also like to thank the SkyHub Link group for their systems as well. SkyHubLink.com for more information on that, all the different ways that you can check in to the net via Echolink, All-Star Node, and those and various other repeaters as well. And we're always trying to get new repeater systems from other locations as well linked in there. So you want to check out that webpage and see who we've got on there as well. Not only Colorado, but several other states as well. New Mexico, I think we've got one up in Washington State somewhere. Wisconsin, I'm not sure. I'll have to look at that map again to see where we've got. But we're out Kansas, Tennessee, I think. Utah, we've got some connections out there now. So definitely check that out. For sure. Always like to have more repeaters, local repeaters linked into the SkyHub Link group for sure. With that, I will say 73 and keep looking up. This is KI0AR. I'm clear.